Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. I'm Randi Thompson, sitting in for Sam Shad, and we're filming in Carson at the Nevada Builders Alliance. Today I'm talking to Miranda Hoover and Ed Domenech about how to stop illegal vapes in Nevada. Coming up on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
When in Carson City, Nevada Newsmakers records in the conference room of the Nevada Builders Alliance. Coverage of the 2025 legislative session is brought to you by Pro Group Management, Workers' Comp that works for you. NV Energy, proudly serving Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Retail Association of Nevada, looking out for business. And by Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $150,000 Denim and Diamonds giveaways, with cash and free play drawings every Thursday and Saturday, and $30,000 in grand finale giveaways Saturday, May 31st, including a top prize of $20,000 guaranteed. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And we're back on Nevada Newsmakers, and I'm joined today by Edgar Domenech, a veteran law enforcement, a former ATF official, and a member of the Tobacco Law Enforcement Network, and Miranda Hoover, the state executive of the Energy Convenience Association, which is a statewide organization representing fuel distributors, retailers, transporters, and convenience store owners. So first of all, thank you both for joining me today. We're here to discuss the growing illicit vapes issue that we have in Nevada, and specifically SB 435, which Miranda's been working on, a new legislative tool that'll help containing it. But Edgar, I will start with you. It wasn't too long ago that we were reading about children dying from illegal vapes that had fentanyl and other drugs in them. And recently, Douglas High School had some vape pens that were confiscated by police that were laced with fentanyl at Douglas High School, which is not a big metropolitan area. So from your law enforcement background, Edgar, what makes illicit vape products so dangerous, both to the public and to the kids in particular?
Well, first, thank you for very much for having me on your program this morning. And what people have to understand is presently over 90% of the disposable vapes that are coming into this country are made in China. They are illegal. They are manufactured with unknown regulatory guidelines, if any, and they are distributed through the Chinese organized crime groups who are utilizing the Mexican cartels and their distribution network to move these products into the U.S. illegally. So when you combine the fact that they're illegal from the very inception and organized crime groups are utilizing the distribution, then it's going to happen where other drugs get into these products as part of the distribution networking that's established. So that's the danger. And it's a danger because they're targeting our kids. The disposable vapes coming in from China that are flavored are targeting our children. That is a public safety issue, and that's a national security issue, besides being an economic issue as well.
Well, and a health issue too, definitely. Can a consumer tell the difference between a legal vape and an illegal vape?
No, well, unfortunately, those flavored vapes, the ones with flavors, whether it's cinnamon, bubble gum, anything that's got those type of flavor, if it's not nicotine or menthol, the FDA hasn't approved those. So they are considered contraband by the FDA. Unfortunately, the FDA has done a very poor job in communicating that to state, local, and law enforcement officials, and that's part of the challenge.
So, Miranda, to you, you represent the people that are selling these vapes. What are their concerns about this?
Definitely. Well, our convenience stores are very supportive of SB 435. And really, we see the issue as being twofold. One is public health. The second is market integrity. We really want to make sure that because there's certain vapes that are just bypassing the entire FDA process, there's a lot of scrutiny, meaning the consumers have no idea what it is that they're actually purchasing. And so at the same time, our legitimate retailers that are selling legitimate legal products on the market and who thus are following the rules are being undercut through these illicit products. And so because of that, the illicit products are way cheaper and of course more profitable, but our retailers want to make sure that they are selling a product that's legal. They want to make sure that these products are not actually attracting children. And so again, from a consumer protection health standpoint, that's their number one concern.
So is there a liability issue? And I'll kind of throw this maybe to both of you, but I'll start with you, Edgar. Is there a liability issue to a convenience store that sells a vape that kills a child?
Well, unfortunately not, because again, part of the challenge here is there are going to be, as Miranda indicated, there are going to be store owners who are unaware of the fact that the product that they're selling is in fact a contraband or an illegal product because it has come into commerce. So that's the challenge, is one, we have to educate our retailers, we have to educate our parents, we have to educate law enforcement officials. There's an educational piece that needs to take place, and the FDA needs to be spearheading that educational piece because, again, they're the ones that are deciding which disposable vapes products can, in fact, enter the country legally and can be sold legally.
So I ran a restaurant and I had distributors that I would go to Southern Wine and Spirits and buy my wine. How do these illegal vapes get into stores? And I'll throw that to Edgar first. I mean, who's distributing
there's
them?
a multitude of different ways that they come. They come in through distributors. You can go ahead wholesalers, and in fact, you can order these vapes online on the internet, and they will ultimately get to the website in China, who will then in turn push the product through their distributors and wholesalers into the United States. So there are a number of different ways that these products are entering the United States, and then they're being smuggled in through the ports of entry, and they're being mislabeled as the products what they are when they're coming in. So Customs and Border Patrol doesn't have the ability to scrutinize all of the pallets and port of entries and the products that are coming in. So they're coming in that way as well.
So to Miranda, as a convenience store owner, how does he get this product on his shelf if he doesn't, how does he know that it's legal or not legal?
Well, so there is an FDA list that is out there, and especially our convenience stores, vape shops, etc. They have full access to that list, but many times they still don't know whether a product is legal or not. And to Edgar's point, we're seeing a very strong and increased smuggling issues, and talking to law enforcement, not just in our state, but at the ports of entry that we mainly utilize, San Francisco and Oakland, they are seeing these smugglers get very clever in the way that they are smuggling these vape products. And so smuggling in, I mean, at this point, it's just as bad as smuggling any other type of drug. And of course, this specific vape product is going after children. And so it's been very, very difficult to make sure that the distributors that are actually selling it, they're the ones who really are, kind of that middleman that need to know what product is legal and what product is not.
Okay. So years ago, I actually lobbied for the Nevada Vaping Association. So, and what I saw from vapes was really the cessation device, that how it gets people to stop smoking. So there are actually positive benefits to vaping. I know you're not burning the nicotine and other carcinogenics that are in cigarettes. So I can see the benefit of vapes. I do. But Edgar, The FDA years ago, though, said no flavored vapes can be sold targeting kids. Is that moratorium, is that still in place?
That is still in place. And what happened was, because of the language that the FDA used on vaping products, they excluded or omitted the term disposable vapes, which is what the Chinese manufacturers and what organized crime has targeted, because the disposable vape left a vacuum within the law, the regulation itself. So the FDA has been playing catch up on the issue of disposable vapes, and that is what these groups have targeted to bring into the country, and those are the ones that they're utilizing to target our kids. And that is where they're utilizing, as I mentioned earlier, they're using the Sinaloa cartel has been documented as being part of that entity that's facilitating the smuggling of disposable vapes, because it is so profitable for them to do that. And there is no fear of prosecution or arrest, because there's such uncertainty from the law enforcement perspective as to who has authorization to do what with these products.
Wow. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to discuss this further. We'll be right back after this.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. We don't have a choice where we go to school, even if it's unsafe or we're being bullied. It's not fair. Every family should be able to choose the school that is best for us, not just the families who have a lot of money. Governor Lombardo wants to give every kid and every family the ability to go to a school where we can learn and where we're safe. He's fighting for us. Thank you, Governor Lombardo.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers with Ed Domenech of the Tobacco Law Enforcement Network and Miranda Hoover, who's the state executive of the Energy and Convenience Association. So, Edgar, we were talking earlier about how law enforcement can't really track these vapes. What can the federal government, state and local governments do, but also to stop these products? But also, are you more optimistic that maybe better guidance from the FDA can help law enforcement?
Absolutely. I think, first of all, the FDA has to take a more concerted effort in educating law enforcement, and not only law enforcement, but state and local legislatures as to the issues of disposable vapes. I think this has to be a concerted effort. We need to bring all entities on deck, so to speak. And what they need to do is they need to educate the state legislature as to which products they have, in fact, approved. They need to expedite the application process for those companies that have submitted their products for consideration. Unfortunately, some of these products can languish for 2-3 years in the process. There are indications that the new administration has taken a more robust focus on the issue of disposable vapes. There have been some commercials out on television and social media highlighting the concerns that they have with disposable vapes and the relationship that Chinese criminal organizations and the CCP has in relationship with the funds that are made with that. It's a $2 billion business that is, with disposable vapes, and all of those funds in China are going back to the CCP, which makes it a national security issue for this country, because we're basically funding their military operations when we think about it, because they are in fact sending the products to this country, and the money is staying in their country and it's going back to their country through money laundering efforts. And that's something that we have to educate the law enforcement community as well as to the aspect of money laundering by these cartels and where they're funneling the illicit proceeds back to the various organizations. But I would say that the directory issue is one thing that I know it's in 435. There's discussion about the directory issue that maybe Miranda can highlight, but that's an important element. That's how we can educate state and local law enforcement officials as to what to look for.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what is SB 435 and what are the mechanisms that can help law enforcement?
Absolutely. And to Edgar's point, we're really where the states and the local governments are at the forefront and on the front lines of this issue. And while it's already federally illegal, we just don't have those enforcement provisions that have come down the pike where we can actually start getting these illicit products off of shelves. And so that really is what SB 435 aims to do. We have a few other states that have already adopted similar legislation in Louisiana, Wisconsin, and Utah at this point. And so SB 435 gives a clear mechanism to the state of Nevada through the Attorney General's office and the Department of Tax on how to go about an actual enforcement, thus creating what we're calling the directory. The directory would say this is specifically the list of products that are legal, mirroring what the FDA currently has. And it then gives the Attorney General the ability, a may, not necessarily shall, as we like to talk legislative jargon, but for them to go in and specifically be checking in on convenience stores and retailers and looking at their shelves to see if they have an illicit product on the shelf, but we're working to do it in a tiered system. So this isn't going to take effect immediately, and then everyone all of a sudden is going to have enforcement coming in where they're getting fined or anything like that. And all of our manufacturers, which is one of the most important pieces to this bill, are extremely supportive of this bill. And based on that, it's actually the manufacturers who are going to be paying for it. So they're going to be charged a certain fee, which we're still working through all of those technical specific items, but they're going to be charged an initial fee for each actual vape SKU. And then after that, it'll be an annual renewal per SKU that will continue to generate the dollars for the Attorney General's office to be able to enforce this. As we all know, it's the workforce that generally is very expensive. So when we're talking about personnel dollars, that's where the dollars from our manufacturers are going to go.
Well, and Edgar, because of the FDA ban on flavored, again, when I represented Nevada Vapes, these were stores that were actually making their own vape products in their back, in their back door, in their back room. But because of the FDA ban, most of the manufacturing is now really concentrated on just a few companies. Is that correct, Edgar?
Well, yeah. The manufacturing of these products is 90% of it's done in China itself, in mainland China. They, in fact, have enormous operational footprints there because it is sanctioned by the Chinese government because these companies are, in fact, then paying the government subsidies for staying operational, and they, in turn, distribute those products through their various criminal entities, smuggling routes, through the cartels, using social websites, social media, email, and mislabeling of their products are the way they know as they're trying to get the product into this country, because they're aware the product is in fact illegal, but they're still doing it because of the amount of money and the profit that enables them to be as sophisticated as they are.
So, Miranda, you had some actually people testify in opposition to 435, saying this would reduce their revenue. I mean, what's the reason to continually sell an illegal product.
Yeah, you make a lot of money. Talking to even some of the vape store owners here across the state of Nevada, the margins that you actually make on an illicit product are upwards of 55%. Versus a legal product is looking at more about 15%. And so when you start talking about the economic impact, it totally makes sense about why you potentially would want to sell an illicit product versus a legal product. But again, we're here to give businesses clarity in SB 435 and to allow, again, enforcement to actually take place, but also to give consumers the confidence in what they are buying. And so with all of those, that's why we're big supporters of SB 435. Again, we know we've got a couple days left here of session and some more technical fixes that we would like to do. But at the end of the day, we're here to support this bill to make sure consumers know what's going on. So we're not selling illicit products, but also not selling these illicit products to children. A lot of the vapes we're seeing out there that are illicit are in these little cute products that are minions and are, all of these different kind of Disney looking characters. And so you could even start talking about how there's patent infringement,
right?
Because we all know they're being manufactured in China. And I seriously doubt they talk to Pixar or Disney about utilizing their characters for those. So we know they are attracting children. And that's exactly what SB 435 does to make sure that we can go after the bad actors.
Very cool. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. Our community is our foundation. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
All hail the $200,000 Cash is King giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Weekly prize drawings including thousands in cash and free play. And 2 big grand prize giveaway events, each with a $15,000 cash winner guaranteed. Only at the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers with Miranda Hoover with the Energy and Convenience Association, and Edgar Domenech, a veteran law enforcement, but with the Tobacco Law Enforcement Network, and he's out of D.C., so thank you again for joining us today, Edgar. So I actually reached out to our local sheriff's office about this issue, and I talked to a deputy, and he said they're trying to get a little more engaged in the issue. It sounds like the legislation would help, but he said, as the dad of 2 daughters, this issue really does concern me. So what is the Tobacco Law Enforcement Network?
What we are is we're a group of retired law enforcement professionals, administrators, educators, who have advocated and tried to educate folks on the issue of not only tobacco, but the issue now as it's focusing on the issue of disposable vape products, because of the fact that we're looking at the issue of protecting our children. And these products are endangering the health and well-being of our children, not only short-term, but long-term. And it's being orchestrated by criminal organized groups. So we believe our background and our professional experience allows us to help educate not only legislators, but community in every spectrum as to why people should be focused in on this issue, and the importance of education. As you mentioned, the deputy, they're trying to get more information, and I think that's the key here, is we need to educate. And the one thing I would note is the FDA does have a user fee on tobacco products, and that's something that maybe they should be thinking about to grant funds and grants to state and local entities to help in this fight, because this is a fight for our national security.
Yes, thank you for what you're doing. It's a fight for the health of our kids, too. I mean, we have too many kids have died of fentanyl poisoning, and this is now another delivery mechanism. So again, thank you, Edgar, for what you're doing. Miranda, why don't you just wrap it up with SB 245? Is there something that we can do until this law is passed, or this? I mean, if it passes, it'll kick in hopefully July.
So we're actually looking at an effective date right now of 2026.
Okay.
That's going to give us the ability to get with all the manufacturers, go through how many SKUs it is that they're actually going to be putting that upfront initial fee towards. It'll also give the Attorney General's office the opportunity to staff up. They do need to hire some additional personnel to go after this, through all of this. But again, one thing that is just very important to mention is that these products are already federally illegal. So Nevada is not doing anything all of a sudden to make products illegal. These are already federally illegal products, and this bill now allows Nevada to go after those bad actors. And so we see SB 435 as a win-win for consumers, for children, for businesses, and for the state of Nevada to, Edgar's point, really on national security and protecting our Nevadans.
Well, thank you both for what you're doing to protect our kids, and we appreciate what you're doing very much. We'll be right back after this.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
When in Carson City, Nevada Newsmakers records in the conference room of the Nevada Builders Alliance. Coverage of the 2025 legislative session is brought to you by Pro Group Management, Workers' Comp that works for you. NV Energy, proudly serving Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Retail Association of Nevada, looking out for business. And by Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Thank you for watching and listening. You can watch us anytime at NevadaNewsmakers.com. Thanks again.